what would be the point if I stood in a visa line for 3 hours and then took a 17-hour flight and landed in JFK, which is another 8 hours, and got interrogated at, with questions about my purpose in life and all of that. And then I kind of went up on stage and told you 5 things you already knew. I came all this way. I'm going to take you someplace new. I don't know about Ohio. I've never been to Ohio. Chappelle takes you to Ohio, right?
Yeah, totally.
And you go.
Right.
If you're a Chappelle audience member. Why the hell can't I take you to Mumbai?
Apparently, a nuclear power plant in Western Europe had to shut down because a massive swarm of jellyfish got into its cooling water. I found out about this story from Ground News, which is today's sponsor. Ground News shows a breakdown of publications reporting on a story, which way they tend to lean politically, right, left, or center, and it's not about eliminating bias. We've all got biases. It's just trying to make you aware of the potential biases of different publications so you can consider them as you analyze an event or an issue. For example, when I read the jellyfish story, I was able to scroll between some of the 88 reporting publications. I noticed that most of the left-leaning publications were quick to attribute it to global warming, while some right-leaning publications described it as a, quote, invasion. One even cautioned that, quote, jellyfish can also hitch rides on tanker ships, quote. What are they planning? Use the link in description or go to groundnews.com/Hasan, Hasan, to get 40% off their Vantage plan. The same one that we use here at HMDK. That breaks down to just $5 a month for unlimited access. Visit groundnews.com/Hasan and subscribe today.
So you have this thing in the show where the lights turn off.
Yeah.
Okay. What did that moment in the show represent? All the lights shut off, and then you there's this moment, and we'll play it. Mm-hmm. People start screaming out how they feel.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what they would do in that moment. I'd never done it before. It was just a moment, and there's a pause, and it's pretty terrifying for me.
The Christmas tree in London.
Also in the stadium, I was just like, make the noise you want to be remembered for, because I didn't want to lead the audience in any way. I didn't want to say like, make some noise for this, or etc., etc. I'm just like, do what you want to be remembered because we're filming. And the room kind of shook a little bit. Just make the noise you want to be remembered for. Camera's not on me, it's just on the light. But if you look at me, I'm looking pretty terrified and clueless because I did not expect that to happen. I didn't expect it to be that vibrant. I don't know, I do think one of the central messages of the show, and this is, as somebody who tries to like go to different places, is that's the one thing we have, right? That no matter what we look like, who we worship, age, sexuality, nationality, laughter sounds the same. Right? And in the dark, we all sound the same because that's all we have. Is the noise we make. And I do feel like, and maybe not the kind of comedy that you do, which I'm a fan of, because your comedy empowers people to come in, and it calls people in, right? But I think we know enough comedy that shuts people out and kind of lives in an ideological silo. And I feel like sometimes if you turn the lights off, there are no ideological silos anymore.
Oh, interesting.
What I like is, we can fundamentally disagree about something, but laugh about it under the same roof. I think that is, at some level, what's nice about our profession.
It's also, as you were telling me the story, I've done 3 specials, and tape days are so stressful. So the fact that you did that, you don't know what you're going to get.
I don't know what I'm going to get.
But in the control room, they have the monitor with the 6 little squares in it. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Like, this is going to be a nightmare in the edit. So it was just the fact that you're telling me that you didn't rehearse it before. It's a pretty ballsy move. Because you don't know, it's gonna fuck you up in the edit if it doesn't work.
I mean, we could have cut it out, right?
Sure, you could lift it.
We could lift it, but 90% of this edit, by the way, I'm not even editing for me.
Oh, really?
I'm editing for people in the background. I did this thing where I lit the entire audience, right? So I'm just like, this is a great angle for me, but this dude's like scratching his eye in the background, so I have to change angles for that. So even that was a trippy edit.
But I love that you edited. You edited and you shot it in such a way that you can see the audience.
You can see the audience. But
I have
even your shows, you can see the audience. Like I saw
Off with his head. Yes, you can see the audience,
Right?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was, I think, in a good way. And look, I want to shout out one of the originators of it, which is Stan Lathan and Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
Him putting the audience in the Apollo in a thrust.
Some
You
of
put
the stuff I
comic
might
in-
not be too familiar with.
Oh,
So I
okay.
apologize.
So
but-
no. So in the
yeah.
early '90s, do you remember? You've probably seen clips on YouTube of Def Comedy Jam,
Like
where-
Patrice O'Neill and stuff?
Yeah, you'll see
Okay.
Patrice O'Neill, but you'll see even like a young Martin Lawrence. You'll see
Okay.
a young Chris Tucker. You'll
Okay.
see a young Dave Chappelle.
All right.
And the Apollo Theater in Harlem, which is Harlem's like 125th Street and up, is an iconic theater for Black comedy and just Black art.
Okay.
And the fact that Stan
Mm-hmm.
Lathan, legendary director who now still directs Dave Chappelle's specials, shot it in such a way that did two things. Number one, it put the comic in the audience.
Nice.
Then everybody in the audience is lit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of implicates everybody in the joke.
Yeah.
And I don't mean implicate like in a bad way, as if like you're trying to litigate a lawsuit.
Yeah.
It just means that this really happened in the room.
Yeah.
This was this person's genuine reaction. One of the most iconic versions of it, when people talk about, is comedy mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it cruel? There's an iconic clip where Martin Lawrence, who was the host of it, who would bring different comics out, roasts a woman and calls her Big Bird. Okay. She's wearing just a fluffy yellow dress.
Sure.
And she does low-key look like Big Bird.
All right.
But the audience is like dying, but
Yeah.
she's also laughing too.
Great. Yeah.
And so what that did, I think, and I think it needs to be kind of, I'm so glad that it exists in the blockchain, is, hey, this is a living, breathing thing that happened that night.
Yeah.
And so don't quote it as if it's congressional testimony. Don't quote it as if it's a novel. You have to see it within what it is. Now that it's been converted into like one by one TikTok or Instagram reels, it's become a person's face almost giving a speech.
You have no context for where it lives and breathes. And also I think there is a way to shoot a stand-up special where you can make a person feel like they're in the room.
Yeah.
You know, I think there are two different schools of comedy, and one is and I think we're all forced into making this special early on in our careers when we don't know how to make a special, which is sweeping jib shots and like a dolly and this and that, etc., etc. And then you just feel like you're watching a show that you weren't at, you know. And then slowly with a few specials, you start figuring out, maybe I'll just put the camera where an audience member would be. And that changes the complete POV.
Yeah.
And then if you light the audience and you can see them, and you shoot a little dirty, you know, you have some shoulders in frame. You kind of have angles that aren't flattering. For the artist.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a better shoot.
Totally.
You feel like you're in the room, and even with the mix on this one, like it's a nightmare, right? Because it's an arena, and then it's a church with like a massive ceiling, and then it's the cellar. It's a basement.
Why did you choose 3 locations? Why did you go from Arena, Mumbai, London Church, and then Comedy Cellar? Why that size?
I didn't originally choose the cellar. I only had 2. Then I lost my voice.
Got it.
And I was like, I need a third to set context for the backstory.
Right. Yeah.
And because it's meant to be truthful, what better place than like McDougal Street and the basement? But it's 3 different soundscapes, right? And you could kind of slickly mix them in with each other, but I think it's kind of trippy to leave them as is and to make the audience feel what the room tone was like in these different places.
Totally.
But I mean, you know, as old as a Seinfeld gets to do it, which is cut between stand-up reference to what's happening in the plot line.
Right.
And a documentary has a talking head that references footage.
Totally.
So the cellar kind of is my talking head.
Yeah. That's moving exposition forward in the story.
Yeah.
So the ghost light. You studied in the US.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to ask you this, but is the ghost light in reference to what they use in theater, where they keep a ghost light on stage?
To ward off evil spirits.
To ward off evil spirits.
Yeah.
Yes. It was homage to that.
Yeah.
And then did the flickering of the throbbing of the ghost lights, what was that indicative of?
How happy I am in the special.
Shit.
So when the passport goes away, ghost light goes off.
Yes.
When it gets handed back to me, it slowly comes on. If the bid is my nephew setting me on fire, it's flickering. If it's me praying to God, the ghost light is at its brightest. If it's me getting beaten up, the ghost light is at its dimmest. So it just represents joy.
That's awesome. This is your first time saying this?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go. HMDK exclusive. The limiting factor of language is sometimes there is a word in Hindi or in Urdu that does not translate.
It only exists in Hindi.
In that.
Yeah.
Okay. So riff this out with me. I have tried to explain the concept of izzat to people in America. And the way I've tried to establish that is I say it's like dignity and self-respect.
Sure. Yeah. Add on to that?
Yes, please. Help me.
I think that it's dignity and self-respect that is earned because you recognize that it has been fought for. I think that's izzat. You know what I mean? When you say, Samaj izzat karti hai iski, which is, the entire society respects this man. It's usually because that man or woman fought for it and there's an acceptance within society of their fight. Recognition of their fight. I think that's izzat.
Yeah.
A lot of people conflate izzat with respect, and you respect your grandfather.
Yeah.
You respect a policeman.
Yeah.
But there are some people who have izzat, which is everybody kind of knows what their story is and knows what they went through, and there's an acceptance of their struggle.
How would you describe? What's the word that would describe one's own baseline? Because I also apply it to oneself of like, I actually have to say something just for my own dignity and self-respect. Izzat in and of itself, which I think is not a concept that is firmly understood in the West.
Really?
Yeah, there's shame, and shame is associated with kind of Sunday school. They call it like Catholic guilt, etc.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I hang out with Zakir Khan, the wonderful comedian, he'll talk about the way in which we treat people's parents or members of their family.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I'm not going to do roast jokes or do low blows about those people.
Yeah.
Just because of their inherent right in and of itself. I also think that's izzat, or maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way.
I think so. I think also you can measure a person by how they treat people with less power than them.
Yeah.
And I think that's also izzat.
Yeah.
More often than not, izzat applies to people who have less power than you. So how do you treat an assistant director? How do you treat the guy who's driving you to set?
Right.
How do you treat people within your company? That too is izzat.
True.
At some level.
I also think there's something beautiful in it that just kind of elucidates the baseline of what one's human rights are.
It's an interesting thing because I'm trying to write about this, and it's a weird one because we're taught as Indian children that our thoughts give us value, not our feelings. And then it's...
I thought it was accomplishments.
Also, but I mean, thoughts...
like accomplishments and test scores.
Yeah, but it's thoughts leading to accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
But we don't grow up with an audacity of my feelings deserve to be shared with everyone and listened to by everyone.
Right.
And I feel like it takes accomplishment and it takes inner work to get to that point.
Yes.
But it's something that we fight that your parents may not have even impressed upon you. Yeah. It's just cultural. It's multi-generational.
Right.
And I think that too is a form of izzat.
Yeah.
To say, no, I think I deserve to say this out loud. The old Indian societal approach to it was you have to be someone to say something. And I think we have to get to you have to say something to be someone.
Yes.
And you can be anyone to say something.
Yes.
I think comedy kind of lives within that, in the young comedy scene that I'm in.
Yeah.
It lives in that space where it's like, who are these people to say these things? These idiots.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Right.
And the answer is no one. And that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Meaning that you have inherent value in and of itself because you're a human being.
You're a human. And
you do not have to be a senator or the king of
accomplished
England.
Or recognized.
Yeah.
And especially in India where, content creation is quite democratic in India in that you've got 1.3 billion who will watch.
Yeah.
We're the largest smartphone audience in the world.
Yeah.
And a young kid can put up a YouTube video and get 30 million views.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of beautiful, right?
Yeah, that's great.
So that pivot is happening now where people are like, I've never heard of this fucking guy. Why is he talking about this big thing?
Who are you?
Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
But the answer is no one. And he has a smartphone, and that's okay.
Explain Nazar, aka the evil eye.
Okay. Indians, we are bred to not talk about our happiness. If you're prospering, if things are good, shut the fuck up. And not
why?
Just because we.
Because I believe that too.
But it's because we lived with scarcity mindset for 400 years. And we've just gone to abundance mindset. Scarcity mindset is we're under the British and there are these 10 opportunities or 11 opportunities. And if your family happens to be doing well, shut up. Don't tell a soul because it's hard for everyone. And now it's ours. We hold the baby and there's abundance mindset and that's a pivot, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I was brought up with protect your peace, protect your joy, don't tell anyone. And the myth is that if you talk too much about your happiness, you will activate Nazar, which is the evil eye, which I call ill wishers, right? Which is just people casually wishing ill upon you.
Yes.
They've combined evil with delegation. They expect the universe to do it. They just wish it. But I think the arc of the special is that you should scream the shit out of your joy. You should yell it from the rooftops because at some level, your joy doesn't belong to just your body. You owe it to have it enter another human being's body. And I think, the line in the special is happiness watched is greater than happiness lived. So you owe your happiness to leave your body and to watch it in somebody else's.
I have to unlock this. I watched the whole special and I'm still like, why are you saying this? You gotta hide this. Don't do that.
I mean, it's I think also sometimes it's
beautiful though. It's beautiful.
I live in India where, this is an important turn that we're making right now as a country.
Yes.
Which is, abundance, a global footprint. There's opportunities for everybody. Startups can prosper.
Yeah.
So at some level we have to, isn't that kind of American audacity as well?
Totally. Yeah.
Right? Which is, look at me, man. I got the house, I got the picket fence, my stuff is going well. I think we need to get there, and kind of chest out a little bit, about our joy.
How do you explain Shah Rukh Khan to people in America?
How do I explain Shah Rukh Khan?
I can't. I have had countless discussions where I go, I don't even know how to do the analogy here.
Okay, I 2 years into coming to Mumbai as a young comic, I get invited to Shah Rukh Khan's house to write the film. Right, to write the Filmfare Awards.
Achha,
right, Mannat is this house on the sea. Of course, he's got this study that is wooden paneled and wooden ceilings and all of the, and the electronic wooden blinds that I'd never fucking seen before.
Yeah.
And books and awards. And you show up and, I'd written some jokes that were terribly immature, but he kind of sat with me for 3 nights, right? And he's like, all right, young blood, what do you have? Right? And
3 nights.
3 nights.
That's pretty cool.
And fed us, played video games, just really a cool guy.
Yeah.
Only guy I've ever seen. When we write words, you expect somebody to just kind of please just say it like I wrote it in my head.
Perform it.
Yeah. He's the only guy I've seen who will change it and it's just better because it's him. So he understands a joke. He knows his way around a joke. He understands a misdirect. He understands a pause, all of that stuff, and he makes it better. You look outside, you're sitting and writing in a study and you look outside and there's 5,000 people or 3,000 people.
Yeah.
I think what encapsulates him is he showed up in Mumbai with 1 suitcase from Delhi, looked out at the sea and said, I'm going to be the king of this city. And then did, and bought the house by the sea. And he makes you believe it could happen for you too. But at the end of the day, even if it doesn't, you're just glad it happened for him.
Oh, that's dope.
I think that's Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah. The top part of that sounds almost sociopathic. But then the back part of that, you're like, oh man, that's really cool.
Yeah, he's...
What a dream that could represent.
You feel the room move. Have you met him? Have you not met him?
I've never met him.
All right. So you feel the room...
I've gotten an Instagram comment from him, but I've never met him.
You feel the room move when he walks in.
So I've tried to describe it to American people where I go, so do you know movies?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah. And I go, he's just the movies. I didn't even use Tom Cruise as an analogy. I'm like, he is as foundational to cinema as the opening credits are. He's in the DNA code of it.
It's a different sound. I think if Tom Cruise was to walk into a crowd, they'd be like, oh my God, Tom. Yeah. If Shah Rukh Khan walked in, you'd just be like, it's a different sound.
Yeah.
Also, I think India does fame very differently than
Explain.
America does fame. I think Indian fame far supersedes kind of American fame in terms of emotional connection.
Okay.
American fame is sometimes, I want your life, you know, but Indian fame is, I love your life. Like,
Wow. Okay.
you know, so I think
Wait,
it's
what do you mean?
slightly-
I love your life. What does that even mean?
It's look at what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Fuck, man, I'm here for you and your family. Look at what you did, man.
Okay.
When Diljit plays Coachella,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's fucking hell. You're there.
Got
I'm
it.
here. You know, like that's it.
Got
I think that's Indian fame.
Oh, okay.
And American fame is that too, but it's also I love your fit. I want your products. You know, it's this
Oh, how do I borrow a piece of that for myself?
a piece of that for myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I think also sometimes the distance between the fan and the artist in America is less,
Yes.
and the distance between the fan and the artist in India is sometimes very large.
Right.
You know, something that I love about a Hindi movie or a Bollywood movie or a regional movie is, you know, a guy who works in a job has one thing to do on a Sunday. He gets one thing with his family, and that's a movie. You know, so if you show that guy Spotlight, he's going to kill himself. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
Yeah.
you got to show him colors and escapism and
Yeah.
and emotion and make him feel like a part of him could have been in that movie.
Yeah.
It's a deep connection, like the movies. It's also one of the few, just in the darkness of a cinema hall, everybody's the same. And I think many people have said this. Amitabh Bachchan has said this. You know, many people have said that. It's
Yeah.
really a beautiful thing, movies.
Help me navigate this theory. I have this theory,
Yeah.
which is, and I felt this being Indian, is that it's one of the few countries in the world where no matter what, even if you leave India, people still love India and
For
their
sure.
Indian heritage. Versus, and I make fun of Ronnie Chang for this, Chinese people that leave China don't rep China.
Dude, in
So
America,
despite India's
Yeah.
problems, whatever
Yeah,
up,
sure,
down,
yeah.
left, right,
Yeah.
center, they will still see India with rose-colored glasses and with a deep sense of love and pride, which is really cool.
well, two things. One, I'll see Americans land in Mumbai or in Goa, and in like 5 minutes, they're in the tie-dye thing with the,
Yeah,
with,
sure,
with
sure.
the beach.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah,
you know
they're
what I
full
mean?
eat, pray, love. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe because we're young, and we've just taken a hold of our culture.
Oh,
Yeah.
India, you mean India, we're young.
As an independent country, we're young.
Mm,
And so we're just kind of honing what's ours.
yes.
So if you think about all the Indians that left in the 60s, 70s, it's not very long ago.
Right.
So, you know, I think they left still holding that because they'd just been handed that.
But why is it when I meet Indian people like yourself that grew up in Kenya or Uganda or Tanzania
Yeah,
or Nigeria, they still are like, yeah, but I'm Indian.
I am.
They may have no memories from their childhood
Yeah.
in Delhi or Bangalore, wherever their families from, Hyderabad. But they're like, yeah, I grew up in, Uganda, but I'm Indian.
Maybe it's because...
And it's there is this fond subtext to it.
Yeah, maybe it's because more people raise a child in India than the average family elsewhere in the world.
Okay.
And children leave the house earlier as well.
Yeah.
So it's a little more individualistic. But in India, you are raised by grandparents. And so just that culture of imbibing culture is stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question. But like for me, I grew up in Africa. But like by the time I was 9 years old, my parents were like, he needs to be in India.
Yeah.
And so I was sent to boarding school in India from Africa immediately. And that was a conscious decision saying our child needs an Indian upbringing. So then 8 months a year, I'm basically in India. And then 4 months a year, like summer vacations, etc., I'm going back to Africa. Which again is this kind of really bubble Indian community in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
I don't know, we band together. You can,
I'm still trying to crack this. I don't know the reason why.
I don't know. I've traveled the world more than most people I know.
Yeah.
And our number one export is Gujarati tourists all over the world. So I've been able to eavesdrop on just Gujarati people saying shit in the most beautiful locations in the world.
Yeah.
And they kind of wander from country to country, perpetually unimpressed and comparing it to some shit in Gujarat that nobody has seen.
But compare this, you spend time in the US, you'll have a friend who's Korean. And
Yeah.
you'll be like, my parents came from, and they will write essays even though I'm Korean, this is why I'm American. You can walk up to any Indian person, even if they're a US citizen, and go, you're not American. They go, yeah, I'm Indian. They literally are like, yeah, I'm Indian. I do not care. I really love that about being Indian.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm not going to write a think piece about why I am London. They're like, I'm Indian, bro.
Well, for diaspora kids, is it perhaps because your parents left India behind and miss it and want to make it live through you? So they're like, this is my retention of India project, is my child.
I don't know. For me, it's just a feeling. Like it's a feeling even from the first time we met, or I'll meet anybody that is of Indian heritage. And I'm like, I know what your kitchen smells like. I know what your dadi's like. I know what your nani's like. I just know how everything moves. And that MS-DOS operating system is like in my soul.
And also with family. Like, okay, I remember I met you and your dad outside the cellar. Do you remember this?
I don't remember this.
You and your dad were headed
My dad was there?
Yeah, your
That's
dad and you were
hilarious.
headed to the village underground.
Oh yeah, my dad was walking with me.
And
That's beautiful.
It's the most Indian thing to be like, yo, you need to meet my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and I was like, of course I need to meet your dad.
Yeah. And we weren't dating, and I wasn't trying to like put a ring on it. Yeah.
Well, there was that one date, but
Sure, there was one. But let's not. Talk
but
about
it was a very Indian thing.
It's a very Indian thing.
Where I'm like, I absolutely have to meet your father.
Yeah, but if I do that with my American friends, they're like, "Are you like a chamcha? Like you're like your dad's?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am his spoon. What are you talking about? It's my father."
Yeah. It would be weird if you introduced your dad to your American friends.
I think people would be like, "You're almost 40 years old and you're walking through the West Village, going
fuck
from
that.
the Village Underground to McDougal Street, doing multiple spots a night with your dad as if he's dropping you off at basketball practice in middle school." But it's a very Indian thing to be like, "You met a bape. This is my father. What are you talking about?" It would be of great honor to me to have my dad follow me around at work. What a privilege this is.
I also think Indian friendships are deeper because you go over to each other's houses and sit on each other's beds, and their parents ask you intrusive questions about your parents. And you know, that forms a friendship too.
Yeah. And so for me also, I don't even have to talk about political headlines. What's really beautiful is that all of that stuff, caste, religion, politics, kind of goes to the side when you're just sitting in someone's bedroom.
For sure.
And you're just connecting with their parents and vice versa. You have to represent, I think it's also because of your accent and just your upbringing and heritage, but you felt this tremendous sense to represent India. How do you bridge that gap when you land in Copenhagen? How do you shape the act?
What would be the point if I stood in a visa line for 3 hours and then took a 17-hour flight and landed in JFK, which is another 8 hours, and got interrogated with questions about my purpose in life and all of that shit.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went up on stage and told you 5 things you already knew. I came all this way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you someplace new.
Yeah.
The logic is, I don't know about Ohio. I've never been to Ohio.
Yeah.
Chappelle takes you to Ohio, right?
Yeah, totally.
And you go.
Right.
Right? If you're a Chappelle audience member.
Yeah.
Why the hell can't I take you to Mumbai?
That's great. Yeah.
Why can't I take you to New Delhi? And why can't I explain to you what a churel is, a female witch, etc.? You know that that my people go to Harvard. You know that we're the number one prosperous community. You know all of these things, and there's great representation of that in your pop culture and all of that stuff. I came all this way. Carnegie Hall, like I said, is around the corner for you. It's across the fucking world for me.
Right.
I'm going to say something you haven't heard before.
Why is there beef between Indians and NRIs? So for the audience that's not aware, there is this digital chasm between Indians from India and then what I am, which is an Indian.
You're not an NRI. You're a second generation.
But I'm told I'm an NRI.
No,
you're a non-resident Indian.
Your dad would be an NRI, but you would be an ABCD. I think you'd be an American born confused Desi. I'm an FOB, fresh off the boat.
Sure.
Right?
But I've been called an NRI in many a Reddit discourse. Yeah.
Why are you reading Reddit, man? Are you reading comments?
I'm not reading. No. I've long ago, not long ago, I'd say probably a year or two ago, just been like, I can't do this. But I know the general discourse is, it's under the umbrella of we are Indians, you are not from India, you were born in the US or you're born in the UK or Canada, you do not get to speak on India or Indian heritage. You're an NRI.
Yeah.
Well, why this chasm?
I
Why this divide?
I don't think that I think it's a little more nuanced than that.
Okay, talk to me.
All right. I think it's sometimes when we travel the world with the accent that I do, we're looked upon as if we're slightly simpler and that we haven't competed with the world as such. And I think we now live in a space where we really do compete with the world and we're kind of owning this accent. You know, it's something that you don't do and I appreciate about you, but I think you can remember 20 years of comedy where this was the punchline.
Yes.
Right? It was American accent set up and then suddenly and then that was the punchline.
Yes.
And now this accent gets to say things, right? So sometimes NRIs can be like, you know what India needs. Right? And I think that can be informed by an ancient time capsule version of India that they left behind. And much like I consume America in sound bites and Twitter videos, they consume India in the same way. And the ground reality is actually very, very, very different.
Right.
You know, if you went to...
So the critique is you haven't put skin in the game of...
Of course you have skin in the game. You're probably sending money home. You probably have family that you're supporting. So that's legitimate skin in the game.
But the day-to-day life of if your family's in Haryana or they're in Gujarat or if they're in Bangalore, if they're in, you know, MP, UP, whatever state your family's from.
Yeah.
Hey, have you lived here and seen it and lived
have you
in
at
it?
least visited? You know, have you at least come by?
Yeah.
You know, to get that. You know, to get texture.
You know what my pushback is? This is my pushback whenever they go, who are you to say? So I go twice a year, but I still get the tum kya samajhte ho
I don't think
stuff.
that's fair. Then if you're going, you're going.
But my pushback is this, is like, hey, you know this and I know this. Where we stand on the world stage. You know this and I know this. You know how fucking bad we've done at the Olympics. So every playground that I'm on, I have the same palak paneer body that you have.
Yeah.
I have the same gene pool you have. I have the same fuzz on my hand. For some reason, I don't know why the fuck I have hair here or hair here.
Yeah.
We have the same eyebrow density.
do.
And I am on the playground fighting goddamn Vikings. Full European bred gorelog. Fists up, representing you guys. So you can't, whether you like it or not, they think we are the same.
I have the same genetics and I'm on the train, man.
But I'm like...
I'm dealing with AQI. I've got an uncle grabbing me by the collar and putting me on the train.
Yes.
We are both going through equally physically strenuous activities with the same amount of fuzz and the same exact eyebrows, right?
Yes.
To pay diaspora a compliment, which I don't think you guys get enough flowers for, is you are very cute guardians of Indian culture at some level as well. Like what I love about diaspora kids is
Cute guardians.
you are. I laugh at this sometimes, right? It's like because you know your accent is American. You have American educations, American audacity, American values and principles. But at your wedding, you're like mehendi laga ke rakha."
Yeah, of course.
Right? And I'm like, that's cute. You know,
Why is that cute?
because it's nice to see how closely you hold that.
Yes, of course.
You know, it's nice to see when Shah Rukh comes and visits how much you feel like he's taking you home.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not going to do juta chapai.
Right. There you go.
Of course
right?
we are.
But it's also nice when I get to come over and, diaspora kids show up and I get to take you back to like modern India.
Sure.
Where Hanuman Kind is making music.
Yes.
Or where Vikramaditya Motwani is making movies and where, Ranveer Singh is doing what Ranveer Singh does. Right?
You know I brought him up on stage at the Comedy Cellar. Did I tell you this?
Did he kill?
He gave a speech like it was the Filmfare Awards.
I would like to thank Manik Chand Panpasan.
Yeah. But he was dressed like Cat Williams. So it was like the whole audience was like, what's happening right now? But it was a moment. To me, that was a Across the Spider-Verse moment.
My best.
It was really beautiful. But that's what I mean where
I would
NRI
think he would have killed. Like,
NRI kids have a lot of pride for that. And so we just want that.
I never begrudge an NRI kid
That channel
holding
to
on to culture. But I just feel like you've got to have context. So I know that you come twice a year. I know you have context. But I also know that you're not... you don't cut yourself off to only people within your community.
Sure.
You liaise with people who come in from India. I've seen you support many Indian artists who come in from India. We were at Montreal and you were like, do you want to jump on?
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And we were at the same time.
Yeah.
And I would do that for you any day you were in Mumbai. I think,
but you know where it comes from me is that I see myself in you and vice versa. So what I meant by the playground is there is and I'm sure you have this, my wife is Indian, your wife is Indian as well. There is, growing up in the West, there is a notion of what beauty looks like. There's a notion of what izzat looks like. There's a notion of what all of these things of, let's call it high maqam, look like. And you are told implicitly or explicitly, you're not that.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure you, do you have sisters?
I do. I have an elder sister. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a sister as well. There are things that I saw them, both men and women growing up, the way they had to pluck their eyebrows or trim their arm hair or feel a certain way about the way their body looks in relation to other people, which is literally your physical standing.
Sure.
That I've grown up and I feel a tremendous sense of pride in. I think our eyebrows are beautiful. I think the thickness of our hair is wonderful. Just all these things.
Yeah.
And I think the fuzziness on your arm is cute and I'm attracted to it. And when I dream of beauty, I see it in that vantage point.
You see an Indian woman when you close your eyes and you think of a beautiful woman.
Correct.
So do I. Yeah.
Correct. And so the feeling that I get when you arrive in Montreal or if a singer is now performing here is second grade me sees value in that. And now 39-year-old me sees value in that.
For sure.
I can't shake that.
And
it's in me.
And we are both at some level the bridge of this. I mean, soft power is a very peddled around word.
Yeah.
But India does have a soft power. It does have a cultural power that's on the rise, and we both are the two ends of that bridge. If an Indian artist plays Coachella, Indians from India aren't showing up. You got to show up.
Yes, correct.
Right?
Yes.
The diaspora has to show up.
Yes.
And so that Indian culture goes over this bridge and then it's on you.
Right.
To be the guardian of that culture as well.
Yeah.
Much like when a guy comes over, it's on us. But it's still the same culture. And we owe it to be the most updated version of that culture that we're both bridging.
You have talked about being incredibly nervous on podcasts, but you are very candid on Instagram. Let's take a look at this.
Hey, can I be real for a second? All right, here we go. I don't think we are meant to watch our own lives, and doing it on social media is really fucking us up. I think human beings are meant to watch other people's lives, and that's what we should use social media for. Don't reflect on your own life and watch your own life. Watch another life and judge that life. Why be a monk when you can be a bitch? It's so much more fun. Maybe you don't want to know. You're just sitting there going, oh, does my life not deserve likes? Am I boring? Am I not traction worthy? Am I not interesting? Maybe the answer to all three is yes, by the way, and you're not supposed to know, and that's okay. Also, somebody taking an interest in your reel doesn't actually make you interesting. I saw a dude brushing his teeth with a shoe brush the other day. Hey, can I be real for a bit? All right, here we go. We need to stop idolizing people on the internet. Please stop. Your admiration should be like your asshole. Only people close to you should get it. All right? And it's easy to do it in the comments, right? We slay, love, yes, queen, king, mother, father, loving, taking, giving, serving. But don't go all in on somebody just because your respect has been chronicled by the internet and you don't want people to question your judgment when they turn out to be human. We worship 4 types of people. There are politicians, there are artists, there are rich people, and then there is status.
This is what I mean. Bro, you're from the future. This is what America is struggling with right now.
It's an Instagram video. I don't know if it's just, you wake up and you think of things and you put them out. But have you met somebody that you idolized on Instagram ever?
I mean, I'm 39 years old. No,
No, exactly.
I
right?
mean,
So-
I'm a little bit too old for that. But
Any of my heroes that I've met, I don't think I've interacted with on social media very, very much. They've just been my heroes.
Right.
And I've gotten to meet them. So I don't know what you're idolizing. Your comedy has thought to it and it has depth to it.
Sure.
And I think we all know when an audience member shows up with a deep emotional connection to something you have said, perhaps ironically, or perhaps unironically, and you're a little uncomfortable saying that's a version of me. And in the telling of that, I was being mischievous, or I was, and this means a lot to you.
Yes.
But please know that I'm deeply flawed and fucked up.
Right.
And I'm not a thing to admire. Does that make sense?
Yes. This setting of expectations, America is struggling with it.
Explain, please.
Hero worship in regards to politicians.
Okay.
You will legitimately read headlines that say, this is the future voice we need. Like
Okay.
these very emphatic totalitarian statements about a senator or someone who's running for president.
Okay.
It very much is framed that way. Celebrity worship. This is why so-and-so let us down. And we can run through the litany of American celebrities that have gone through this kind of machine.
Okay.
But it is this absolutism and pedestal that has been created that has created this disappointment. And I'm sure in India, being a country of 1 billion plus people, it's that times 6 of what we have in America. Everything the volume gets turned up on those things. That's what I mean by you can see the tea leaves and you can see the future, because that is what, through entropy, America can become.
I mean, look, I'm speaking in an Indian context, right? But I do think, I don't know, look, I do see politically it kind of is becoming religion without the religiosity.
Sure.
But I do think in India we have faith, and that's a big part of our worship quota goes to faith.
Yeah.
Is America strong on faith? And would it be better to return to faith and not put it in, these people?
I would say there is a stronger connection to faith in India.
Yeah.
I would say that. And I don't know why that is. Why do you think that is? I think I have a theory. My theory is that your world in life is such a miracle.
Yeah.
Getting from point A to point B, you see the sliding doors of destiny literally on your way to school, to work, to your khala, to your chacha's house, that you are like, I'll catch a blessing in any which way I can. From a mandir, from a masjid, from eating this badam, I will, please may destiny be on my side. There's a humility to it. People criticize it, but I think that there is a real practical recognition of the dynamic range that life has.
I would add to that I don't think it's by virtue of circumstance. I think,
but yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. Please elucidate. Yeah.
I think faith in India affects circumstance more than by virtue of circumstance.
Explain.
I think a huge part of our community is based on faith. And I think tangible blessings come from intangible faith in India. So I don't think you're walking out going, someone give me a leg up, I think you're walking out going, I prayed this morning and either I'll give somebody a leg up or I have a place.
Yeah.
I have a place of strength. I think that's what it is. Like, my grandfather was a Buddhist leader.
Okay.
Right. And so
it's pretty cool.
I grew up in a house of chanting all day long. And anyone who had freshly come into chanting was coming from a place of some sort of fresh trauma sometimes. So maybe they were sick or maybe they had a personal tragedy and they would wait for my grandfather's counsel. And every time he sat with them, I'd see them outside and I'm like, what's going on? And like, I remember a lady waiting in our house and I'm like, what's happening? Why are you here to see Baba? That's what I call him. And she's like, I'm not sure how long I have. I'm ill. Right? Which is a weird thing to say to a 12-year-old, right? Or a 13-year-old. And I was like, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm just here to be. He's my place. So he's not actually doing anything for her. It's just a place of strength to go to. So I think that's a big part of it as well.
It's beautiful. I'm going to end with this one. This one's a little bit emotional, but it's the meaning of home. You wrote this. I've lived in... You read this.
Okay. I've forgotten. I've lived in Dehradun, Lagos, Delhi, Noida, Galesburg, Chicago, Boston, New York, Goa, and Mumbai. I've never owned a home. I still don't. Is that fucked up? By any Indian metric of common sense, I've missed out on adulting. I have zero roots, no safety net, no security. However, I can pack up and leave tomorrow. I'm debt-free, obligation-free. Some would call this zero shackles too. I don't owe anyone a goddamn thing. Depending on who you are, I've either seriously messed up my life or avoided messing up a life. Really depends on what you think the word home means.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I mean this lovingly as your friend. 2 things.
Buy a house.
Number 1, bro, this reads like someone who's not married. This is like a 26-year-old being like, what am I but just my feet in my backpack?
I lucked out.
This is crazy.
I have a wife who is a world traveler and a force of nature. And she's just like, we'll go. Like,
Okay.
we'll pack our bags and we'll go where we need to go.
Because I could only imagine how wifey read this. If I wrote this, Bina would be like, well, where's home? The fuck you talking about? Like, we built a home together.
We don't own any property. We've rented.
Renting.
Yeah, we rent in Mumbai, and we lived in Goa for 5 years. My wife's I mean,
real one? She's a real one.
She's a real one, and she's also.
I have to meet her.
Yeah,
Why haven't I met her?
she's the air in the room. She's the free spirit in the room. You know, so I kind of lucked out that way. I have this wife who doesn't love brands, just wants to travel, only wants to do concerts and eat great food and see the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Where is home for you then?
it's her.
Oh, that's great.
That's it. It's her. Wherever we are, that's fine. I've been with Shivani since 2008. 9 apartments in that time.
Man, that's beautiful. What a real one. Shout
Yeah.
out to Shivani.
Yeah.
Shivani, I hope we meet one day. This is really beautiful, man.
Hey,
Thank you for doing this. Vir and Hasan, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.